Willie, weigh in on this for me, because His Excellency mentioned messaging. What should the industry's message to policymakers be then? Because we spoke a bit about this in our interview earlier on CNBC, and I asked the Director General of IATA to really lay it out for me, because at the end of the day, as His Excellency points out, it's about making sure that people understand what the actual energy dynamic is today and the impact that it's going to have on their everyday lives, whether it be paying for tickets or looking ahead to a green energy future.
Yeah, well, as my good friend said, a cornucopia of challenges facing us. But I think the critical issue is to ensure that we have the right framework, policy framework in place. Because what we risk is the sector being deprived of finances that we could use to achieve in-sector reduction in our environmental footprint. As Akbar says, investment in new technology aircraft, which are significantly more efficient than the aircraft that they will replace. Politicians tend to like taxation because they believe that taxation is good for the environment. All of the evidence shows that taxation actually does nothing to improve environmental performance, but just takes money away from our industry that we could be spending on the purchase of SAF, that we could be spending on the purchase of new aircraft. So I think getting the policy framework right is absolutely critical. And there needs to be honesty. Akbar's right. It needs to be an honest debate around what are we trying to achieve. If we're trying to achieve true net zero by 2050, then there's so much more politicians could do to assist us. Dealing with the built-in inefficiency in the air traffic control systems, which in Europe alone we reckon accounts for an additional 10 to 12% of CO2. And there is zero investment required. It just requires political will to streamline procedures, to develop what we call the single European sky, to eliminate structural inefficiency that could be eliminated very quickly if the political will was there. So, our industry is determined to address our environmental performance, and we are determined to achieve net zero. But there's so much more we could do if we had support and the right framework in place to assist us to achieve it, rather than using a stick, because you don't need to. You don't need to convince us to do this. We have been doing it for many years. What we need are the right incentives to ensure that we can achieve net zero as quickly, and ensuring financial sustainability, as Akbar said in his speech. We need to have financial sustainability and environmental sustainability.